The book is called Hollywood Hypocrites, The Devastating Truth About Obama's Biggest Backers. And what is that devastating truth, Jason?
Well, most people don't realize the power nexus between Hollywood and the Obama administration. It's so deep. We hear a lot of belly aching today from the left about Wall Street money and Citizens United, the Supreme Court case, and super PACs and big oil. Obama has the biggest industry in America on his side, who not only act as his top financiers, but help frame his reelection message. And, that's why I wanted to spend a year investigating Hollywood. And to show people that when Barack Obama not only just gets globs of cash from them, he stops and has behind the scenes asked them for help in marketing and framing his reelection message in 2012. There are a lot of conservatives who I think misguidedly write off Hollywood, dismiss them, and say, these are just dumb celebrities. Their endorsements don't matter much, and their endorsements do matter. There are people who take their political cues, whether we like it or not, from celebrities. And that's why I wanted to say, do these celebrities, Obama's biggest backers, do they live by the same standard and policy prescriptions that they try to foist on the rest of us?
And you came to the conclusion they didn't. Give us some examples.
Well, here's another one. Bono. He's considered just a rock saint. And, he is a nice guy, and I'm sure his heart is in the right place. This man is a major league hypocrite. He comes to the United States, as he does every single year for World AIDS Day, likes to lecture and hector us that we need to send more money to Africa, more money down poverty programs around the world. And he actually says that even in our dire economic times that we're facing, that we have to punish politicians who dare try to curtail foreign aid. Saying cuts would cost lives. Well, this guy, he moved U2 from Ireland to Holland to take advantage of a much, much lower tax rate on music royalties, almost eliminating their tax liability altogether. So here you have a guy who's raiding the poverty programs that he purports to champion because, it's not private charity he's talking about. He's talking about money that is gotten through taxation to send to Africa, and yet when it comes to his personal finances, he tries to hoard and hog all of it as possible.
Arianna Huffington wrote a book called Pigs at the Trough, How Corporate Greed and Political Corruption Are Undermining America. And you begin the chapter, The Priestess of Pigs, capitalist that is. Arianna Huffington is one scary broad. Why?
She is. We know this is a woman who first started out as a conservative, then said she switched sides, she's a leftist, then hoodwinked everyone by becoming a mega capitalist and selling the Huffington Post to AOL, raking in $300 million reportedly. And she has the audacity to talk about corporate greed, and she just left 9,000 bloggers who were writing for free to write for free. They didn't get no payday. But what I found so fascinating and kind of scary is the creator of the most influential progressive media platform, Arianna Huffington, is a priestess in a very little-known cult called Messiah. That's how they pronounce it. They pronounce it Messiah.
Yeah.
And it's based in California, very new agey, and she's been trying to distance herself from it on and off for the last 30 years. It's very, very odd. They believe that their head, a guy by the name John Roger, is actually higher than Jesus Christ, and he's the embodiment of someone higher than Jesus Christ every 25,000 years. So I just thought it's fascinating that we never hear this about Arianna Huffington, who is involved in some very, very weird stuff that I think if a conservative with her similar influence would have been exploited a lot more in the media.
Jason Mattera is our guest. The book is Hollywood Hypocrites. Chapter 5, Hollywood Hate Mongers. Spike Lee, Oliver Stone, Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson, and Hollywood's racist, race-baiting progressives.
Oh, Spike Lee has never met a slave metaphor he did not want to use. This man is so filled with hate. He bashes whites and blacks. He bashes conservative blacks for not thinking the right way. He bashes people like Clint Eastwood for not putting blacks in movies. He actually, I don't even know if you know this, he slammed Clint Eastwood for not including blacks in the movie Letters from Iwo Jima, which was the perspective of the Japanese
Yeah, you say that he slammed Woody Allen because he doesn't have enough black people in his movies set in Manhattan when Manhattan is half black and Hispanic.
Yeah, but this is Spike Lee, right? He's a hateful guy. Barack Obama, though, while he's trying to lecture the rest of us about civility and our coarsened culture, right? We have to be respectful of everyone's ideas. That's the narrative the left is trying to foist. Now, this man is happy to go, as he did recently, a month and a half ago, to Spike Lee's home in Manhattan for a fundraiser. $38,000 a plate, raked in $1.6 million for that evening overall. And Spike Lee has said such racially insensitive things over the years. Now, granted, his racism has matured because in the early 90s, when you can say, well, he was just still a young buck, in the early 90s, Spike Lee, when he got back from South Africa, he was quoted as saying, "I seriously wanted to pick up a gun and shoot whites. The only way to resolve matters is by bloodshed."
Jason Mattera, the book is Hollywood Hypocrites, Chapter 6, Hollywood Leftist Loon Lifetime Achievement Award, and the winner is Alec Baldwin. In the news recently.
Yes, good old Alec Baldwin. Here's a man who rails against the evils of big banks, raiding taxpayers for bailout money. Yet he became the pitchman for Capital One, which received $3.56 billion of that very same bailout money he decries. He drones on and on about how Republicans have allegiance to corporate profitability only. And yet, here's a dude who works for General Electric, his main paycheck, General Electric, which in 2010 had an effective American tax rate of 0. So, if Alec Baldwin, and I don't begrudge anyone for trying to lower their tax rate, but the problem is if you're going to tell us that you're decrying tax cuts for the rich, if you're going to tell us that you're against the Wall Street bailouts, please, you got to start leading by example and start stuffing your pocket with taxpayer money or that evil corporate profitability that you so hate on the blogosphere.
Jason, how are you on time? Can you stay with us for another segment?
Absolutely.
All right. The book is called Hollywood Hypocrites, and I want to get back to the book, but tell me, if you would, when you wrote Obama Zombies, your first book, is that right?
Yeah, that was my first book.
The first book. I'm curious because a lot of our listeners want to get involved. A lot of our listeners do research. A lot of our listeners write blogs. We have a woman who writes as a volunteer for a lot of these blogs. How did you take that book and get it published?
It's a very good question. And it's hard for me to answer it because I had a publisher reach out to me. What
did you do to get their attention?
Well, I was very active confronting politicians on Capitol Hill with cameras, filling the void that the mainstream media, the tool bags, and the press were not doing. And I caught the eye of a publisher, and they said, are you interested in writing a book? And if so, do you have any book concepts? And I did. I had Obama Zombies in my head after the 2008 election, and it's a grueling process to write a book. It's not all glory as people think. It's I had to give up my entire social life for about a year to write, research, and then promote the book.
Well, trust me, I've been working on this for a while. I have a new appreciation. Jason, can you hold with us?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Jason Mattera is the author of Hollywood Hypocrites. He's the national editor of Human Events. He was also the author of Obama Zombies. We're going to talk to him. The next chapter I love. Be Healthy or Else, How Hollywood Loons Follow Dear Leaders' Lead in Lusting to Regulate What We Do, Buy, and Eat. Stay tuned.
Michael Berry Show, fact number 372. Liberals contain toxins.
Good job.
Therefore, they cleanse.
Yes, return that energy to Earth so Father Gore may power himself.
Say what?